Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Wakey Wakey. Really excited today because I've met one of those other crazy digital nomads living their life their way in Chiang Mai. So today we're going to meet Ron. Ron is a self-publisher on Amazon. So he's been writing ebooks for the last year and he's been quite successful. He's going to share us his secrets to be a successful self-publisher on Amazon. And he's going to explain to us how he managed to make a 5 digits income. You've heard me correctly, he's making 5 digits since last month, and he's going to explain the process step by step on how he makes his money. So thanks for meeting me today for a new interview of Wakey Wakey.
You're welcome.
In the series Live Your Life Your Way. So you specialize in self-publishing.
Exactly.
So publishing ebooks on Amazon.
On Amazon, yeah.
And so there you go. I mean, before we start anything technical, talking about what exactly you do, maybe you can tell me a bit more about yourself, where you're from, what's your education background, maybe what you want to share about yourself.
Okay, no problem. So it's basically I'm from Germany. At the moment I'm 32 years old, and I used to spend a great deal of my time in Germany before. I went to just normal to high school. I never went to college actually, and I was working after school for a couple of years, and I realized actually when I was 25, I had a burnout, my first burnout. I was working like from Monday to Saturday, and I didn't have any time to enjoy my life. So I said, okay, I'm still young, I want to see something different, you know. I want to figure out what I want to do with my life, and this is when I actually sold everything I had, and I went to Australia and decided to be a backpacker for at least 1 year and just travel with my backpack, you know, to the outback, to Melbourne and Sydney. And when I was in Australia, I actually decided I'm gonna stay a bit longer. And it happened that I stayed for 3 years, like traveling all the time, like 2 years in Australia. And after this, I went to Thailand for a couple weeks, and then 1 year in New Zealand. And after this, I went to first to Japan. And after Japan, I went to South Korea and came back to Germany like a changed man, you know.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, but when I came back to Germany, I actually realized, okay, what now? I traveled, I've seen the possibilities, and the first thing, unfortunately, was to get a new job. And I found a job and worked there. It was like IT support call center.
Okay.
And I tried to become normal again, you know, like to have a 9-to-5 job and to maybe build a family and maybe have a normal life like everybody else is having.
Yeah.
But after 2 years, I realized, this is not it. This is not for me, you know.
I feel like burnout number 2 is coming.
Yeah, actually, it was coming. Yeah. after 2 months and almost 3 years, I couldn't do anymore. I was like going to office every day. I was staring at a computer, and I couldn't even speak to my colleagues because I was really sick of being in the office, you know. I was like trading my freedom, my time for a paycheck, and I was feeling really miserable. And this is the time when I decided, this is it. I really want to start a business. I want to have location independence and making my money from any place in the world. And this is when I went to Thailand. It was like I quit my job second time, and I went to Thailand last year in January 2013 and stayed for 3 months in Chiang Mai. And I've seen all the people here living the dream, you know, like doing money, building online business, doing some YouTube channels, blogs, dropshipping, whatever. And it was a big inspiration for me, you know. After 3 months, I went back home and I decided I gotta start and build my business. And I only come back to Thailand when I'm ready, when I'm earning some income, I can support myself. And this is when I went back to Thailand this year.
Okay, so you had a revelation in Thailand. You saw this great group of people doing their things their way.
Yes.
And then you went back home to spend some time to focus.
Spent times to focus. Actually, I came back with an idea. I decided already I'm gonna be a self-publisher. I can make it into a real business, but I don't need the distraction. When I was last year in Thailand, I was drinking beer, you know, and party sometimes, but I wanted to avoid the distraction and just be in my room and just work on my business without having all the other things, exciting things you can do in Thailand, you know.
So let's talk about the the ebook project that you have. How did you get the idea first, and how long did it take you to become successful in your terms?
The idea I had already maybe 2 years ago when I was still working in my day job, because I was reading some business forums on the internet, and I knew there are some people actually making real good money with ebooks, and they can work from home or any other place. But I was afraid, you know. I didn't had any real idea how I can do this by myself. And when I was in Thailand, like 1 year ago, I met like a self-publisher here in Chiang Mai, and he was doing a one-day seminar, and he was explaining like how exactly you can do this, what you need to do to publish a book, how to get to Amazon, what to do, what kind of marketing you need to do, and everything else. And after the seminar, I didn't have any excuses anymore. You know, it was like, okay, now I know what to do. I just need to get started.
So how long did it take you to write and publish your first ebook, and how long did it take really for you to see the money coming in?
Okay, so my first book, I was writing on it maybe for 10 months, because I already started writing before, actually somewhere at the end of 2013, before coming to Thailand. I was already writing on my backpacking book, Smart Backpacking, and altogether it took me 10 months to finish it. Next year, 2014, and publish it in May 2014. So it was the longest process, like, to write this first book, Smart Backpacking. And my second book and my third book, I published actually in the same months. It took me like 3 weeks.
3 weeks to write?
Yes.
2 books?
Yeah.
So you got much faster from 10 months to 3 weeks?
Yeah, because I figured out I wasted my time. I don't need 10 months, I can write it much faster, you know.
Okay.
And if you know how to do the first one, the second and third is so much easier, you know.
Excellent. And what is the what is, I mean, can you help us understand what is the step-by-step process to publish an ebook?
Okay, so you need some knowledge about writing and some skills, but I believe if you can write an email without too many mistakes, you can actually write a book. But of course you need to like writing at least a bit. You know, some people hate writing, I would not recommend this, but if you enjoy writing blogs or emails, you can actually write a book. And first you need to find a topic you want to write. You need to do some research on Amazon to find out what people actually enjoy reading, because this is what you want to write. You don't want to write what you like to read or what you enjoy, but what the most people enjoy, you know.
So how do you see that on Amazon?
So you go basically to Amazon, there's categories on Amazon, books and Kindle books, and then you can go to the bestsellers, and then you can choose non-fiction or fiction, and then you look for the bestsellers, like the top 100 books, and just download the books. You can even buy them and download for free, like the first 10% for free for your Kindle.
Excellent.
And then you can read and find out what are the books about, what is the topic about, and then you can see if this book is selling, can you write a book like this by yourself, you know. And this is the process, and then you start writing. You just need a Windows computer or Mac and a Word program, Microsoft Word, and start writing the book. And you need to have some tools. The tools are basically converting this Word document into a movie file, which is like for Kindle, that you can upload this to Amazon.
Okay.
And there are many free resources on the internet. If you go on YouTube, you can educate yourself for free. You can just type in how to publish a book for Amazon, how to create a movie, how to do the formatting, because this is like really tricky part. It took me like maybe 1 month to learn how to format properly for Kindle.
Okay.
But you can find out on YouTube for free, you know.
Okay.
You don't even need to spend money.
You can find everything, you know, on the internet.
Yes.
You can find all the
like
information.
Google and YouTube, they're like free education.
So I'm really curious.
How do you choose your topics for your ebooks, and how do you perform your research? How do you organize your research?
Okay. Yeah, basically what I'm doing is Amazon, the German one, Amazon.de, and I'm going to like...
Because you write in German, yeah.
Because in German I go to books and to categories. You can see all the categories for instance for Kindle, and then I look for bestsellers. You can choose non-fiction or fiction, and then you can always look up the bestsellers. That means the books that are really selling well. And this way I see what kind of topics actually people like to read, and this is what I focus on. When I see a topic, people reading a lot, I just make my notes, and I'm going basically into this topic,
And what if you don't like that topic?
Sometimes I don't like the topic, of course, but I know it's more important what my customers like and not what I like.
Okay.
Most topics I write about I don't really like,
Okay.
Like when I was doing the research, I figured out like I like to write about travel and backpacking or like my topics, but the majority of people like to read about romance, The biggest readers group is like women, and the women, they like the romantic stuff, and they're reading books like Nicholas Sparks, and this is what I figured out. And then I was start buying the books from Nicholas Sparks and reading them. Like I was reading maybe 3, 4 or 5 of his books until I knew how to actually write a romance book. Even I never did this before, because this is not what I actually enjoy reading by myself.
Okay.
And then I was buying some books. I was buying how-to books, for instance, how to write a good romance book, how to make fiction books, how to design a plot, like to make a compelling story, and learning how to write basically, and practicing and start writing by myself. And this is how I went from travel books to fiction romance books,
Okay. And so I suppose that when the first books you wrote, one of them was on backpacking, another was on dating, another was on traveling in Thailand.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're taking the fiction direction, which is more creative.
Yeah.
So you move from a point where you were doing some research, quite a lot of research, from something where it's more personal as well. You got to go look for things inside. So you're becoming a more sophisticated writer, actually.
Yes, that's true. And I have to read a lot, especially if I want to stay into the topic. I need to read all the time the bestsellers. I need to know what's coming out and what they're writing about and what is actually in at this moment. And I always reading the books, and I generate kind of stories that are similar but with my own twist. I'm not copying anybody. I just taking some inspiration and then generate my own topic.
Okay, excellent. Now on your positioning, is it right to say that you've gone from a low pricing to a higher pricing now on Amazon?
Not really, but what I'm doing with the pricing is this, like all my books I have basically always the same price. It's $2.99.
Okay.
Because I figured out this is the price the people are comfortable to spend. Because if you want to buy a coffee at Starbucks, it's gonna cost you more. And people are willing to spend $2.99, but not willing to spend like 5, 6 or 7 euro for an ebook.
Okay. And how much does Amazon take on that?
If you price your books for $2.99, Amazon is taking only 30%.
30%, okay.
Which is really fair, because if you would go to a regular publisher, you get normally like 10%, and then it's not enough for you. But like, 70% for me is really a good deal.
Okay.
Yeah, and what I'm doing with the price as well is basically I do a 99-cent price at the beginning. It's like my special promotion price for maybe 1 or maximum 2 weeks. And after this, I make it for $2.99.
Okay.
That I have is that I'm wondering how people, since your beginning, how do people really trust that you're an expert of your topic? How do they believe that you've mastered?
Okay. Good question, actually, because if you write non-fiction, you need to be an expert, because people want to trust you, and you need to have maybe some community or a big Facebook page, or maybe be an expert by yourself. And this is really hard to be an expert in many like non-fiction topics. For instance, I was looking into losing weight books, but you need to be an expert in losing weight, and or dating books or exercise books. That's why I chosen the fiction, because there you actually don't need to be an expert. You just need to write a great content, a good story. People are entertained after reading your book, and you don't really need to be an expert, except you have couple books. This is always good to have a couple books. if you have some like listeners, they don't want to go into fiction, they want to be non-fiction writers, I would definitely recommend to choose different nicknames for your books. Don't make the mistake to use the one name for losing weight, for eating good food and dating and travel, because people are not gonna trust you. You need to have some nickname for each of your topics and position yourself as an expert by focus each nickname to a specific topic.
Okay, so that's really good advice. So use a nickname. Okay, that seems to make sense. Do you know how many books you've sold so far? So how many books have you written and how many have you sold?
I have at the moment in my portfolio more than 60 books. Last year it was actually 50 books until end of December, like 51 or 52. But now we have already February, I have more than 60.
60 books? You've written 60 books?
Yes, yeah.
60 books?
60, exactly.
It's huge. So you're writing a few books every month?
Yeah, a few books, definitely.
Okay.
Like I try to focus like 4 books, maybe at least 4 books, maybe even more. It depends.
And so a lot of them are fiction now?
Yeah, most of them are fiction. Yeah, like maybe 95% are fiction books.
Okay, fantastic. Now the other question that I have is how much money do you make out of this? Because this is what's also interesting for the Wakey Wakey audience.
Yeah, sure.
You might be afraid to take this giant leap in living their life their way. They sometimes are very interested in how you make a living out of these things.
Yeah, definitely. I can't name the exact figures, but I'm gonna give you a good idea. Like when I started writing, I had only like 1 or actually 3 books. I was earning maybe at the beginning 50 euros per month. At some point it was like 100 euros per month. But then after I started writing fiction and having more books coming out, I had my first 1,000 euro months, and after this it was never below 1,000 euro. And this is why I focused to having so many books, to actually have a solid income coming in. And this January 2015 was really an incredible, amazing month for me, because I had my first 5-figure months in earnings from Amazon coming.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
That's fantastic.
Yes. Congratulations, I was blown away
man.
by myself. I was like expecting maybe like, okay, it's gonna be good, but I didn't expect it would be that good.
5 figures.
5 figures, yeah.
Wow. So, and is it safe to say that this is passive income? Like if you stop working for a few months, is it going to affect negatively how much you make on a monthly basis, or is it going to keep on coming in regularly?
If you stop working for maybe 1 or 2 months, it's not going to impact you. Maybe it's going to stay the same, but I would recommend just keep going because you want to grow your business, you want to earn more, because you can then maybe reinvest your money. I never tried stopping, but when I came to Thailand, maybe I was just taking 3 weeks off and doing nothing, and it was no problem for me. But I would recommend not stopping, because if you're stopping, you become like maybe tired or maybe not motivated, and it's gonna be hard to get back into the business after maybe 6 months off.
Okay. This is maybe a bit of a technical question. I'd love to hear your opinion on something. What do you think of someone who wants to write an ebook about wheatgrass and weight loss? What would you recommend they did?
I definitely would recommend first go to Amazon and look if this is what people are buying actually. And you can find this out if you just type in weight loss or wheatgrass, you know, the topics you want to write, and then you're gonna find some books that are selling. And if you click on those books, you're gonna see the number. It's an Amazon bestseller rank. It's a ranking number, and if it's like below 1,000, it's really a bestseller. It's a good book that is selling consistently. If it's below 10,000, it's still okay, it's good. But if it's like bestseller rank more than 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, don't waste your time, because you're gonna have only few sales maybe per year, or you don't want this. You want a book that is selling every month, every day actually.
Okay, excellent. A lot of my audience is French. And they're like you, they also have a lot of ease of to speak English. Would you recommend that they took this leap and write books in their native language, or would you recommend they went for the English?
I can only recommend from my experience. I've been doing only German books so far, and I believe that's the best way, because you're starting what you know, it's your native language, and you actually don't have so much competition going into the English market where like everybody is writing. I would definitely recommend start first in your native language, and if you're successful you can still translate your book into English later on.
Okay, one of the last questions is, what would you tell my audience at Wakey Wakey to get started to live their way?
Okay, what would I tell them? Definitely don't listen to gurus that are telling you do what you love and only your passion, but just become serious what actually your customers want. Focus on what your customers want and what they love, and try to give this to the market. Find a demand or a need, what people like, or problem, and give this solution to the market. And if you can find this solution and produce this by yourself, you're definitely you have a good possibility to become successful. And if you can find many people and give this solution, you're gonna be very successful. For instance, if you have a product which is like, even you're selling for $1, $2, $3, but you have millions of customers looking for this product, you're gonna make millions. This is for sure, you know. So just find out a need or a problem and be the person who is actually creating something.
Okay, find the problem and offer a solution.
Yes.
That's the key.
Or find a need and offer this what the people want. Maybe it's only entertainment, you know. People are bored, this is a problem as well. What I'm doing, I'm delivering entertainment to the people that are like bored and have nothing to do, you know.
Cool. Ron, thanks so much for giving me your time, and to my audience to share, what you do and how successful it is. If people are interested to finding you somewhere, can they find your books on Amazon? Do you have a website?
Yeah, I try to keep a low profile. That's why the most of my books, they have some nicknames. I'm not using my real name, because I just want to be below the radar. You know, just I don't want people know what I'm earning or what I'm doing, but I have a main website. Maybe I'm gonna make some project in future, which is called ronaldrichter.com.
Okay.
This is just my first last name, ronaldrichter.com. You can find any news, maybe even a blog in future, you know.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Ron.
It was a pleasure to have this interview.
Thanks, man.
Good luck, man.
Cheers, thanks a lot.
There you go, guys. Thanks for following another episode of Live Your Life Your Way series from Wakey Wakey on my blog. I want to thank you, Ron, for sharing your experience during this interview to my audience. There are some very valuable tips in there for everybody, and it's a great inspiration for people back home that feel sometimes stuck in their job that they don't like. You might change lives today, Ron, so thank you very much. You guys, as usual, if you've enjoyed this video, there's plenty of more videos coming up that are like these, so don't forget to subscribe by clicking up here or up here. Can never remember where to click. And take it easy out there. Thank you for following. Thanks a lot. Oh yeah, sorry, I just forgot. Also, if you subscribe to the list of on deriraji.com on my blog, you'll win a chance to win a Kindle Fire that I'm offering. So as soon as I hit the 300 subscriber number, I will randomly pick one of you guys that have subscribed lately and offer you a brand new Kindle Fire. So be sure to subscribe and don't miss it. Thank you, guys.
Ron.